Hi guys, welcome back to Women, Wine and Wisdom. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Naomi.
And today we're going to be talking about friendships. Should we rekindle them or not? No.
Should we? That is a good question. But before we get started,
You already know it.
we're going to have a little cheers with our Women, Wine and Wisdom little cuppies.
They're so cute. I love them. Cheers. This is lovely. Nay made these, by the way.
I'm mixing
Not
it up
me.
because I'm like, these
Not
are
me.
mixed.
Mine is nice.
Okay, yeah, no, it's getting there. Okay, cool. So we thought we'd do something a little bit different because we usually have wine on here.
Of course.
And we just wanted to mix it up a little bit.
Obviously, we'll have wine on the next episode,
We
but for
definitely
our
will.
coffee lovers,
We are alternative drinkers. But yeah.
we love coffee, we love wine, so you might see a local mix up.
Yeah.
All right, Nay, friendships.
Friendships, let's go into it. I mean, friendships are a crucial part to everyone's life. Like,
Facts.
it's important to have friendships in just in your day to day. Like, you need friends. Who doesn't need friends? I think where it gets tricky is when a friend disappoints you or doesn't show up in the way that they need to.
Yeah.
And it's just whether or not when you do decide, if you do decide to break off that friendship, where do you go from there? Do you rekindle? Do you not?
Do you know what it is as well with friendship? So my thing is, it's like we get disappointed because we have certain expectations.
Yeah.
Should we have those expectations?
Mm.
Because I feel like in my earlier 20s, like I'm 20. In my earlier years,
Yeah.
I feel like my expectations of my friends were so high. Whereas I feel like now I don't actually I have expectations, obviously, because there needs to be a certain standard met. But I don't know if I have the same expectations as I did when I was 20 in my 20s, because I feel like now I know people have more
Yeah.
better things to do, by the way, more things to do, shall I say.
Yeah.
They have family commitments, children commitments, so many other commitments. I think my expectation is slightly lower than what it was like. So should we still have those expectations of our friends?
Oof.
What's your opinion?
I feel like as you get older, for sure, things do change and people will prioritize things in a different way. And so they should. You know, when you're in your, say, late teens, you don't have, well, most of my friends wouldn't have had children at that time versus when you're in your 30s, most of your friends do have children. And so if they turn around and say, oh, we can't come out this weekend because I don't have a babysitter. Yeah. I think you have to be understanding of that.
Facts.
And I think there's always such a big thing about, oh, if you don't come to my birthday, then you're not my friend. And I think that is such a, I feel like that's childish, firstly.
Yeah, it's very childish.
Because that doesn't define the strength of your friendship, whether or not your friend shows up for your birthday.
Or not.
Providing they have a genuine excuse. And I don't see, and furthermore, do they even need an excuse? I feel like when you get to your 30s, you should just be able to be like,
nah.
I can't bother. I'm tired.
Yeah.
My back hurts. I just want to...
Everyday back.
Everyday back. But sometimes you just want to lay in bed. Sometimes you need you time. And I think there's no harm in putting yourself first. And if a friend can't understand that, then...
They don't respect your boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
exactly.
to be honest, sometimes I just want to lay in bed. It's facts. Like yesterday, I took a 3-hour nap. Just chilling.
Come on. It's needed
I was
sometimes.
too tired. Yeah. Like,
needed.
honestly, we work so much.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just want to switch off and not do anything. And sometimes I just don't want to reply to my phone as well. And I'm expecting my friends to understand that. The same way if you take 2 to 3 days to reply to our messages, absolutely fine by me. Even better for me sometimes, because it means I don't have to reply.
Woo, I mean, you already know what I'm like on text messages. I'm
just
that
call me.
person.
I'll text, Nate. No. Cool.
If there's too many texts, I'm like, I'm just going to call you. We're going to have a conversation because there's too much. I cannot.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh, my jaw hurts, man. I don't want to chat. But not with you, but just generally, I'm like, because I talk all day at work.
Yeah.
When I get home, I'm like, this is the last thing I want to do. But I think now, just call me.
Yeah.
Because even me, I'm getting bad with messages.
It's just easier because I feel like I haven't always got my phone in my hand. So always expecting me to be like, bang, 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 send out messages. No, it's just easier. Call me, get your answer, move on.
Yeah. How are you with rekindling friendships?
Rekindling, I think it firstly depends on what's caused the issue in the first place.
Yep. The breakup.
Yeah. So I think it's firstly establishing why the friendship has changed or why the dynamics of the friendship has come to a head. And then from there, I can pick apart and decide whether or not, okay, fine, we can work it out, or maybe it's best that we're just not suited to each other.
Yeah.
Because I feel like friendships are a form of relationship.
They are.
So
and sometimes the breakups are worse than actual breakup relationships with men.
Exactly.
Genuinely.
And so I do feel like sometimes when it comes to calling off like a friendship, it might just be that you find that you're not actually compatible or you're not in the same season of your life. So you see what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
Like you were a great friend.
That's a really, really important point. So we need to come back on that one. Yeah, that's a really, really good point.
Like you might have been a good friend when we were in our 20s or when we were younger, but then where I'm at now, you're not a friend that I need in this season of my life.
Facts. Why do you think that is though? Do you feel like, because for example, does success dictate whether that friendship doesn't go into that season with you? Because I feel like that's a big thing. And I've seen it with some friendship groups. I'm like, the reason why you lot are no longer friends is because you're not as successful as the others.
Yeah.
But what I've realized though, it's not always the successful people that leave that person behind.
No.
It's that person that feels too uncomfortable
in that space.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's 100%. Like, how do you navigate that? Because you either keep up,
or get left behind.
Out. Yeah, sorry. And it sounds harsh.
No, but it's the fact.
It is the fact because you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it's not even the fact that they're making you feel uncomfortable. No, they're just doing what they're doing with life.
Exactly. They're being frustrated. You're that friend may be frustrated, and then they're just like gonna take a sidestep from the situation, which isn't good. But yeah, to be fair, I think if I do have friends like that, then I'd rather you just don't be around me. Because you're only going to try and poison what I'm trying to do.
Facts.
So I'd rather you just not be around me. I think a good friend is a friend that obviously wants to uplift you, push you, and doesn't feel they're in competition with you.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of friends do want to be in competition with their friend. And I think that's where a lot of clashes can also happen.
Yeah.
So
it's sad though, because you know what's so funny? Genuinely for me, I don't ever feel like I'm in competition with any of my friends.
Yeah.
I genuinely feel like I'm your biggest cheerleader. I want to see you do well. Do you know what I mean? I want to push you to do well because I don't know what space you're going to be in.
Yeah.
I might need that space in the future.
Yeah.
I might need your advice in the future.
Yeah.
We all have different skill sets. We all have different abilities. And this is why it's so important that when you have friends, they need to be confident in what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
Because when you're confident in you and what you bring to the table, all those little things, oh, my friend does this, my friend, you won't even think about it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. I feel like a lot of friends I feel like they don't sometimes take the time out to really understand what's happening in that situation. So they're just quick to, I don't know, they're just quick to react.
Yeah.
They're quick to
reaction
and have an emotional response to the situation, and they don't bring the emotional maturity to the friendship. And so conversations can't even be had because I feel like a lot of things are misconstrued or misunderstood.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you don't even have a safe space to be able to say, okay, can we have this conversation? Can we just talk about it and not, somebody not take offense to it or somebody not jump into it? I think that also is something that's very important in friendships. Some people just don't feel like they know how to talk to friends. Like I had a friend who, me and her fell out, and she stopped talking to me over something that was so minuscule, something that was so childish, something that was just not even...
Something that you were just like, whatever.
Listen, I was just like, what? She surely can't be mad at me for this. But I just noticed a change in her behaviour.
Yeah.
And so it prompted me to say, are we beefing? Is there a problem here?
Yeah, okay.
And when she then turned around and explained why she was upset with me, I was like, it's got nothing to do with me.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying about they have to be confident in what they bring to the table and who they are.
Yeah. But also just being having the ability to be able to come to me and talk to me. Like friendships will disagree. Like you
100%.
will disagree with your friends.
100%.
But I think the difference is being able to have the emotional maturity to go up to your friend and say, look, I didn't like it when you did this, or this upset me, or this offended me, and just being able to have that conversation rather than having like the arguments and like
I'm not arguing with you anyway. You already know.
We already know.
I'm not arguing with you.
We already know.
Yeah.
But
and you know what? No, you're good because for me, I feel like, so when my friends are acting funny, for example, let's say, because it's happened to me before, you're acting funny. I've asked you once, I've asked you twice. You best believe I'm not asking you a third time. I will just not speak to you because until you're ready to actually approach the situation in a mature manner, it's fine. I don't actually want friends that can't chat to me because it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So I'll just be like, okay, you want to do you? Absolutely fine by me.
Be good.
When you're ready, when you're ready, we can have that conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
But are you a rekindler?
Not really. I mean, it depends. For me, it's all about. It really depends on the reason why we fell off in the first place. Yeah. Because if it's something that I feel, how do I explain it?
Petty.
If it's petty, and I feel like you've it's just been blown out of proportion because it's like, oh, I don't know, you said you were picking me up at this time, you didn't come on time, and something like that, then I'd probably let that go.
Yeah,
like, we could probably, like, after everyone's cooled off, we could start talking again.
Yeah.
But if it's a situation where I feel like if people don't understand my character and they feel like I do things with malicious intent, I think that offends me a lot. And I think I'm less likely to forgive you based on you assuming that I'm being malicious, because I'm not that person.
Yeah.
And so I think when you start to not understand me and my character, I'm just like, I don't think we could be friends. Or like, if you feel like I'm a jealous person, like if you feel like I'm jealous of you, I don't.
You can damn sure know
you shouldn't
I'm not
want
jealous
me
of
to
you.
be your friend.
Facts.
You shouldn't even want me to be your friend. If you think
Facts.
I'm jealous of you, don't even expect me to be your friend.
I don't think any of my friends are jealous of me.
No. I would like to believe none of my friends are. The ones that I can think of off the top of my head, absolutely, I do not believe they are.
Yeah, my closest friends, they're not jealous
supportive
of me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
So, but it's like, if you feel like I can be jealous of you, if you think I can take your man, if you feel like you can't have honest, transparent conversations with me, don't be my friend.
Yes, facts.
Don't be it.
I'm not a rekindler either.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm not a rekindler...
But even for petty situations?
No, for petty situations, I don't even classify that as... I don't even think those are issues.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, they're not issues to me. But I'm not a rekindler. And the reason why I'm not a rekindler of friendships, even partner relationships actually, is because for me, I would normally do everything I can do in my power to maintain that situation.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people, I genuinely feel like I always consider the other person's feelings instead of mine because I'm less emotional. So in my head, I'm like, okay, Jimmy, you're a more logical person. So let's try and consider it from this avenue. So for me to get to the place where it's like, actually, no, Jimmy, you've given everything you've got and this person's actually just taking the piss. I'm like, you know what? You live your life. You go and do you.
You go and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. It's I'd rather have quality friends over quantity. There's no need to have that many friends. I'm tired of going out anyway. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm tired of all the phone calls and the WhatsApps anyway. So it's like, the less I have, the quality, and I can give more, and these friendships can actually, like, you know, grow.
Yeah.
That's fine by me.
How do you feel like you can pick out the quality versus the
quantity?
Yeah.
The characteristics of a person, who they are innately. And I think that's a really big thing for me. How they are with their family. Because I feel like family shows a lot about you. How you spend time with your family, how your family think about you. So those kind of things as well. People that are not stingy. Because I'm not a stingy friend.
What's a stingy friend, though? Explain it to us.
What is a stingy friend? You know, one of those people that, like, say you go out, and you're like, let's say you're all buying stuff, you're all doing something. The last person to always want to bring out their card, or the first person to always complain about the bill, like, or the first person, they never want to give.
Yeah.
They can't give without getting something back.
Fine.
That character trait is, for me, I don't like that trait.
Yeah, fine.
Especially because I'm not like that.
Yeah.
So eventually it'll just annoy me. I don't like that. And you know what else I don't like as well? When you're like, you're so stingy, you're even stingy to yourself.
Oh, no.
Do you know those kind of people?
Not stingy to yourself.
People are, though. People are actually stingy to themselves. I'm like, but why?
So, like, for example, they need to do their nails. I mean, I need to do my nails now, but fine.
I mean,
but like,
I
but they need to do their nails, and they won't even treat themselves to getting their nails done. That kind of stingy, or
I feel like that's
they just won't treat themselves. They won't pamper themselves.
You have the money, but you would. So let's say, we plan to go on holiday together or something, right? You have the money to do it, but then you pull out last minute because you're like, do you know what? Actually, I'd rather save my money and. No, I'd rather do something else. Like, do you know what I mean? Or I don't want to commit to this anymore. Bearing in mind, you've already committed to it all this time.
Yeah.
Then last minute, you're now like, actually, I'm not too sure if I can do this anymore. Don't get me wrong, there's certain levels of understanding. There's, you know, certain situations, for example, there's maybe a redundancy. Let's say there's a family situation. Because sometimes things do come up.
Yeah.
But if you're on holiday, for example, and it's like, actually, I'll pass on doing that just because, you know what, I can't do it today. But because you just don't feel like it. But you know that in this situation, we've all split the money already and we're all meant to do something, and then you just decide, nah.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one, that.
That one is a difficult one. I think that one's a grey area one.
It is a grey area one, but me personally, I'm like, after you've committed all this time.
Yeah. I think if you're going to say that you're going to do something with your chest, just do it. I think rather than just saying, I'm going to do it, everyone's planned it, and then you're backing out, you're like, actually, and we're like, okay, but we've already divided the cost amongst ourselves. Yeah, we've already split it. So now you're being inconsiderate to everybody else in the party.
Yeah,
I hear that.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
But again, that's the thing. I don't like inconsiderate people.
Yeah.
And that, again, it goes back to the characters of the people that I want around me.
Inconsiderate.
Yeah. I like confidence in friends too.
Yeah.
Big thing for me. What about you? What characters do you see in your quality as opposed to the quantity? Because you actually have a lot of friends from back in the day.
Yeah, I do. And I think loyalty is a big one.
Facts, yeah.
I think loyalty is definitely a big characteristic for me. I don't feel like I need to see you every day.
Nope.
I feel like it's just about knowing that I can rely on you.
Yeah.
The reliability, the trust aspect. If I'm going to talk to you about certain things, I want to know that I can trust that you're going to give me your best advice, and you're not I'm not telling you information because you just want to go and kiki and kaka with somebody else and laugh about the situation. But let's be honest, these things happen.
Yeah. Respect is a big one. And when you're talking about loyalty in that situation, respect is a really big one.
That. Yeah. You want your friend to respect you. And it's not to say I know people talk about things, so I'm not going to play naive to that, but you still want to just know that if you're coming to your friend and seeking advice from them, that they're going to have your best interest at heart and give you the best advice that they would,
could give.
They want to give you so that they can see you grow.
Yeah.
And I want friends that I can grow with. I want friends that, I can do longevity with. I don't want just friends for a good time. Although I do believe
I never have friends just for a good time.
I get that, but I mean, at least longevity, good time. So
yeah.
Keep me young and youthful over the years.
100%.
And that's the thing. I think friends do fall into categories.
They definitely do.
So I do feel like there are different friends that play different roles in our lives.
Yeah.
So there might be a friend that I go to for prayer. Friends that are your prayer warrior friends.
I need a prayer warrior friend. So if anyone wants to sign up for that position, I'm accepting CVs.
But it's a real thing, is having friends that you can actually sit down and plan with and, pray with, and they're going to really fight for you in that spirit. So, or, friends that you can maybe discuss business with.
Facts. I have a lot of friends like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Friends that you can bounce business ideas with, and you can discuss things with, and you can trust their judgment.
Yeah.
And even just friends who are just so grounded. People who, we're always big on talking about accountability, friends and partners here. And it's good to be able to have people that you can that know you. And if you're ever going through a situation or you need someone's grounded advice on a situation because you're about to maybe pop off and you just want somebody to say,
come back down. Yeah.
Literally,
bring yourself back down to earth and be humble.
Yeah,
100%.
Come back down here and let's talk about it, because maybe you are acting a bit out of line, or maybe you are, because I don't need a friend that's always going to be like, yes, you are right. Yes, you are right. Sometimes I need a friend that can tell me when I'm wrong.
I love my friends that can tell me when I'm wrong.
Listen, they're the ones that I would usually go to, because I'm just I need somebody to tell me if I'm wrong in this situation.
Check me, 100%.
Yeah, because sometimes you see things from a blinkered view and that's the end.
Yeah. Do you know what an interesting thing though is? Yeah. So in terms of accountability, because I know you have quite a lot of accountability friends. So let's say, for example, you have a situation going on, right?
Yeah.
And then you go to that friend, one of your other friends, for advice. Do you think they can give you really good advice if they don't know the two people?
That's a good question.
Do you get what I mean?
No, I hear what you're saying. I feel like
let's say, so for example, me and you, let's say you go to Michelle or Chris or Leah for advice. I mean, that's a bad actually example because they probably all know me. But if they didn't know me, for example, could they give
impartial advice?
Yeah, or could they give advice that's good if they don't know my character as a person? That's my question.
I think it's always really hard, because sometimes if I'm in those kind of situations, I'll do my best to try to be as unbiased, even though it's almost impossible.
It's possible, yeah.
But it's I try to be okay, so that person is like this, is like that, is like this, just to give them a bit more context to the situation.
Yeah.
And they know me as a person, so more times they might turn around and be like, well, did you act like this? Because we know you to be like this.
Yeah.
So, but that's why it's very important to go to the right person. I have a lot of friends, but there's only a handful of people that are my accountable people.
Friends, yeah, of course.
And one person in particular, she knows who she is.
Hey. She knows who she is.
But because I feel like she has such she's so good at being so grounded and not being so partial.
Yeah.
And naturally, it is going to be like very hard when that person maybe your friend or family,
friend,
because then sometimes they may lean towards you, but I feel like this person in particular doesn't. I feel like if she feels I'm wrong, she has no problem telling me I'm wrong.
But that's a good friend.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of friends you need. Because sometimes you have those friends, it's like, no, actually the other person's wrong. And more time, they're just steering you in the wrong direction. And that to me, again, is not a good friend.
No, exactly. And especially if that person doesn't want to see growth. Because, for example, let's say it's a business situation. You've gone to your friend and you're like, oh, this person is not supporting me, or this person is not pulling their weight in the business, and they're like, yeah, you leave that person, you go and do your own thing, and you do this and but they don't realize that maybe that person is actually needed in that business. That person, maybe you need to work together. Maybe like God has pulled you and that person together for a reason.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's making sure that the person that's on the other end talking is trying to be as impartial and seeing something, like seeing the bigger picture, not trying to be so small-minded in that situation.
Do you believe that time is a good indication of friendship?
No, I don't think it is, but I am big on having long friendships, because I feel like if you're somebody who cannot hold friends,
there's an issue.
There is an issue.
It's a red flag.
There is a serious red flag. There's a problem.
Yeah.
We need to be looking at it.
If you're dating as well and a man has no friends, run.
Run.
And vice versa for men. If she has no friends, 100% run.
Be running. Because ultimately, like, your oldest friends, they know you. Like my oldest friends, they know me. They've seen me through so many different seasons.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, they know me. I'm not saying that if you don't have friends from back in the day, then that's it. That's the end of it. Because some people find friends later on in life, and maybe they've developed over the years and they've been able to nurture friendships better over the years. And maybe they didn't nurture friendships back in the day, or they weren't maybe they were taken out of situations where they've lost contact with friendships. So, which I totally get, but I don't feel like I don't feel like everybody is going to have friends from when they were children, from childhood.
No, you're not,
But I do feel like there is value in holding friendships from that age, because that's not an easy thing to do. And I think it's a testament to your character, because it shows that you can nurture friendships and you can nurture relationships.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I agree. But I also think that it's not always a good sense of it's not always a good sense of judgment, because sometimes it shows that you don't know when to quit. So you
you did not go there.
But so I agree with what you're saying, because I do think that's true, and it is a testament to the person's character. But it can also work in the vice versa, where you're just keeping that friend because they're not necessarily supportive, they're not necessarily there, but you just don't know when to quit. Because a lot of people just don't know how to be like, do you know what? This is no longer serving me. But because we've been friends for so long.
Oh God, no.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, that's just madness, though. I mean,
but people do it every day.
You have to have discernment in life. I mean, maybe that's definitely, I think, a personality flaw. You need to be able to discern what's a good friend and a friend that's worth keeping, and friends that are just worth letting go. But there are a lot of people like that, where they're just like, I've known this person for a long time, so I'm just going to keep you there.
Yeah. But then again, do you know what the thing is as well? Because in my head, I'm like, there's definitely people I've known for a very long time. But I'm like, I know your character. So you're in a certain category of friend.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean you're in my highest quality of friend, but you're just a friend. We might see each other here and there. You know what I mean? We might chat here and there. Because I'm like, it's not worth the stress of a friendship breakup.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your acquaintances know that they're acquaintances?
Yeah, I think so.
So they really?
Surely they have to know. Surely they have to know. Because in my head, I'm like,
surely.
No, but you know, it's a very good question, actually.
Because
they must know. Because
I feel like sometimes, and this could be applied to all friendships. Some people don't know where they rank in your life. So some friends may think they're a lot higher than they actually are. Oh, no.
I actually reckon people know. Do you know why I say I think they know? Because if I don't pick up the phone to call you when I'm in distress, if I don't talk to you about my relationships, if I don't come to you for like business advice or maybe something's gone wrong, then, I mean, ain't it obvious? Do you think people around you know their acquaintances?
I mean, I would like to think so.
I feel like you'd be better at making people not aware that they're acquaintances than I would be.
Yeah. I do feel like, I don't know, maybe, I think because of my bubbly friendly nature, I think some people will probably think it's deeper than what it is. And I'm like, it's not, my dear.
Yeah.
I do not have time for it. So, but like you, it would be the same kind of premise. It's like, just because I'm friendly and I'm nice to you wouldn't necessarily mean that
we're close friends.
Because I would not talk to you about relationships. I would not talk to you about business or career or anything like that. I wouldn't talk to you about life. I wouldn't trust you with that kind of information.
100%.
So if I can't give you that information, are we really friends?
Acquaintances. Like, we actually need, and I always say this, and I think I've said it before, even on my Instagram, I'm like, we need to start using the term colleague.
Yeah, hello, hi.
Because
hello.
We're not friends.
This is a serious thing.
Honestly, it's like, oh yeah, we text each other all the time. Okay.
No, but even, because we go for work lunch, I'm sorry, that does not qualify for friendship. That just means at work, we get on and we can go for lunch together. 100%. I can tolerate you during my lunch break.
If I can't see me talking to you in 5 years.
Yeah. If I leave that workplace and we do not have a friendship after I've
that,
left,
we were always
colleagues.
Facts.
Just know yourself.
Everybody know yourself.
But yeah.
Do you know what's so funny? In my head, I would hope, that the people that know me well enough would know what kind of friend I am and what value I bring to them. Do you see what I mean? Because I feel like we speak about this off camera, but because I'm quite direct, well, most of the time I'm very direct.
Quite. Yes, you are direct.
People might associate that with like less emotional maturity, but I actually think I'm very emotional mature. I just choose who I want to give that energy to, because it takes a lot of energy from me to be logical in a situation when I'm dealing with people that are more emotional. So I would hope that all of my friends know that about me, because I'm like, this year I'm like, raw, people really be thinking I'm direct, you know. Wow.
You are a direct person. But I think it's I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like, I would say that you're quite direct, so I wouldn't think that you would necessarily be like, oh, babes, let's come and sit down. Let's open a bottle of wine.
I mean, I'll always say let's open a bottle of wine.
You always want to open a bottle of wine, but it wouldn't necessarily be in that kind of tone. It would be more like, girl, don't worry, we've got this. Like, do you get what I mean?
That's definitely,
that's more you. So it's like, even though you're a very supportive friend and you show up for people, but the way you show up is very much more, and it's a testament to your personality. It's more, we're moving forward. How do we move forward? So it's not like we're going to wallow in self-pity and be crying and rolling on the floor and the wrapper is coming off, the headscarf is coming off. It's not that kind of vibe. It's more like you're that friend that's going to be like, we can spend 2 minutes on this, but we are going to spend 20 minutes planning the next steps. Do
you know what's so funny? Literally word for word what you said is what one of my other friends said. She was like, I call you for a lot of stuff, but if I want to wallow in self-pity, I'm not calling you.
That's it. And to be fair, that's probably not necessarily a character that most female friends will... That's not usually a character that most friends will see in their female friendships.
Yeah, it's more you'll see in a male friendship.
You'd see that more in their male friendship.
Yeah, I have 3 brothers, guys. I can't help it. I can't help it.
But it's still such a good strength to have in a female friendship, because I feel like sometimes you don't want to go to your male friends to talk about stuff like that. You want to be able to come to your female friends, but you need to know which female friend is going to be able to pull you out of where you're stuck, as opposed to just calling a female friend to just have your standard girl chat that can be very typical, very emotional, both crying on the phone.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah.
Thanks, that's it. What was I going to say? I was going to say, in terms of like long-term friends, do you see yourself with the same friends that you currently have now in 70 years?
Oh, wow.
When we old and wrinkled with grey hair.
Old and wrinkly. Well, I mean, I'm starting to feel a bit wrinkled in my retinal. Sponsor me. But I do. I mean, I don't know why I hesitated there. I really do. I feel like I've now come to a season in my life where I feel like I have a better judge of character, especially when it comes to friendship.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would like to think that the friends that I do have now, I do see longevity with them, and I do feel like we'll go a lot further. I think sometimes you just never know what could come up in life and what challenges you will face. And sometimes with that you don't know how certain friends are going to react.
Yeah.
And some of my friends have kids and are married, but not all of them are. And so when they do start getting married and start having kids, that could also change the dynamic of the friendship.
Yeah.
So
even when you start having kids, and
exactly.
It
That could shift a lot of the friendships. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But I think our foundations are strong.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes me confident
agree.
that we will stand the test of time. What about you?
Yeah, I 100% think so. I definitely think the friends I have in my life currently, till death do us part, baby. Till
if
death
you
do us
like,
part.
fight me. If you like, but
because at this point, I'm just like, I feel like I'm very strong in my character, and I'm very strong in the girls that female friendships, especially because before I used to be like all these female friendships, everyday bitchiness, everyday gossiping, and I'm not really here for it. So the friends I currently have now, I'm like, yeah.
Do you feel like how do you feel about friendship circles? Are you a part of friendship groups, or are your friends individuals?
This is a difficult one. I have individual friends from different places. So friendship groups for me, I'm not really one for it, especially if they're groups of girls.
Yeah.
If this is a mixed group, I can probably do that better.
Fine.
But females are too emotional in terms of like, for example, if it's a 3 and it's like, oh yeah, she did this, you and her are closer. I can't be dealing with that kind of stress, like, because I don't think about those kind of things on a daily basis. Yeah. So for me, I'm like, how long have you been thinking about that? Do you know what I mean? And it's happened to me twice.
Yeah.
I've made that mistake twice. And in my adult age, I'm so sorry, I can't. Because why?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you talk to her more than you talk to me. The thing as well is like, we need to understand that, like you said in the beginning, we go through different seasons. Sometimes that friend, so for example, if it's me and you, let's say, for example, we had a mutual friend. If they wanted to come to me for advice about being direct or whatever, that's fine. If they wanted to come to you about more emotional advice and more emotional support, that would be fine to me. But somebody else would find that, they would take that to heart. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just don't think it's necessary.
Yeah. No, I hear that.
What about you? What's your thing on friendship groups?
Oh, I hate them. I hate them.
Is that female friendship groups or a mix of friendship?
Females.
Okay.
Mixed. I do have a mixed friendship group, so they're probably all looking like,
wait, what?
But I think female friendship groups can be very tricky.
Yeah.
Having to navigate around them can be very, very tricky. And as you say, there's a lot of emotional, opinions in there, and it could just lead to just unnecessary he said, she said, mixed opinion. It's just messy. I always find them to be messy.
Yeah.
And I've been a part of a few growing up, and they've always turned out terribly wrong. Like they've ended up with people just being upset and people just losing friends unnecessarily. Like it just goes left. I always find they just go left. It never ends well. So, but I do have, as we mentioned, a mixed friendship circle of guys and girls, and I feel like it works. I feel like there's so much more balance in there.
Facts, I agree.
So, you can't talk to one of your male friends about, do you know what he said to me? Like,
yeah, because he'd be like, what?
What? Just let it go.
But men do love a little bit of gossip, they love a little bit of gist.
A little bit. But do you know what? I just find my male friends to be so loyal.
I love that.
So, they're just so,
get over it.
Move on. They're not even going to have time. And if you've got an issue with them, if they've done something to offend you, they'll be like, do you know what? I didn't mean that. I'm sorry.
Facts.
It is so easy.
Yeah.
It is just so one and done.
It's so difficult, though, with that, because I feel like, when you talk about, the he said, she said, me, if someone says, Jimmy said this, and you came to ask me, I'll tell you what I said.
Yeah. But this is my
But a lot of people don't.
But that's the problem. And I feel like when you are in friendship circles with girls, a lot of it is don't say anything. No. Don't tell me not to say anything if you don't want me to say anything. I will come and say something. Excuse me. Hello, hi.
Don't say anything, but so and so said this about you. So now you want me to see this person and be acting frosty? No. Let's address it. We have to just address things head on, because if you don't, then it's going to lead to a lot of resentment, built up anger, frustration, and then it just becomes very awkward. Every time you're around that person, you're going to have this energy towards them. That person is going to be like, have I done something to offend you? You're going to be like, no. And the thing
you're snapping your neck at the same time.
Yes. And the thing with that is then you cannot be your authentic self.
Exactly.
And automatically that's already an issue.
But then also you're just you're harming yourself by just being angry unnecessarily.
For no reason.
And you haven't addressed the person, you haven't spoken to the person, allowed that person to say their maybe opinion or their side of the coin.
Yeah.
And now you're just everyone's fighting. Everyone's angry. And it's just like, there's no point. And I love my peace too much to be in that kind of environment.
Yeah,
so
I sleep well at night knowing that I don't have these kind of issues.
Exactly.
And I would hope, right? I mean, this is a question for both of us. I think it's a good one. I would hope, that all of my friends and all of yours would feel comfortable in addressing me if they feel like I've done something to offend them.
I would like to think so.
Do you see what I mean? Because I feel like if we can't, already that's an issue for me. So you should be able to come to me and be like, Jimmy, you messed up,
Yeah.
This is what you said and I didn't really like it. Because sometimes I can say something and the tone might be off.
Yeah.
And it's not like I meant it in that way.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So it's like, address me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the one to be like, I'm not strong-headed in terms of, if I'm wrong, I will apologize.
Yeah.
But then what happens when you don't think you're wrong? If someone wants me to apologize and I don't agree with what they're saying, what happens then?
If I don't agree with what that person's saying, it's a bit of a difficult one. I think I'd have to just go away and just sit on it, think about it.
Stew on it a bit.
Maybe get someone who's grounded, get someone else's opinion on it, and before making my own conclusion or coming back to the person. So it might just be a thing where I just be like, okay, we're disagreeing. I hate that saying, we're going to agree to disagree, because that is an annoying statement.
I say that shit all the time.
For me, it's just because you're not moving past it. So we're both going to basically sit in our views and just sit in our views. And then it could always resurface at any point down the line, because we haven't really resolved it.
Yeah.
So it's I'd rather go away, think about it, and maybe speak to somebody who I think has sound advice, get their opinion on it, and then come back and try and address it again, possibly, or just kind of
it's a difficult one.
Allow it to
stew.
The
thing is, though, because I use the phrase "let's agree to disagree," and I actually use that sometimes even in my personal relationship.
Yeah.
Because for me, feelings aren't facts, and two things can be true at the same time. You might feel the type of way, I might feel the type of way, but none of those feelings might be factual. So it's your truth, my truth, and God's truth. So let's move on. So I might agree we can agree to disagree. Still love you the same. Let's put the situation to bed. And I don't want to hear it in 2 weeks. I don't want to hear it in 2 weeks.
Meanwhile, I'll be calling her. Hello? Jamaica, who needs to talk?
It's actually so funny. But in order to wrap this up, what are the key takeaways? So we're clearly not for rekindling friendships if they're mad. But again, if it's a long-term friend and you feel like it's a resolvable situation, always do the best that you can. Because I feel like when you do the best you can, you walk away knowing that I've done what I can do.
Yeah.
And you don't need to go back to that situation.
Yeah.
You mentioned friends for different seasons as well. I think that's really important.
Yeah. I feel like whilst I think it's important to have friends from childhood, I don't think that is the be all and end all. I think if you have better friendships later on in your life, then nurture those as well. Keep those people close. Yeah. Don't let people also feel used, because I think that's
a very big one.
That's something that a lot of friends do. They just take, and they don't pour into their friendships.
Yep, facts.
So I think it's important.
I've definitely felt that in a lot of friendships, actually.
Yeah,
that people just take, and whether that be financial, emotional energy. I've definitely felt that way. I think sometimes people take advantage.
Yeah.
Because maybe they say they know my character or your character. They're like, oh, she's not going to really ask me for that, or she's not going to do. And I feel like that's definitely made me push back from friendship. So that's a really, really good point. Another thing I would say is that make sure you're judging the character of your friends really well. So as you get older, you should actually become a better judge of character to what suits you.
Yeah.
Just because you have chemistry in that relationship. Because sometimes you meet a woman and you're like, yes, we bounce off each other. But actually you're not compatible, because those two, you might be similar in some aspects, but you're completely different in others. So becoming a really good judge of character is super important in female friendships.
I was also going to say, just to round it up, is also just make sure that you're taking good care of yourself as well. Put yourself first. Don't be scared to put yourself first. Don't be scared to say, I need a break, or I need time. Because I think that's quite important. I feel a lot of people forget to set boundaries, and then they have a lot of burnout, and it could be a friendship burnout where you're just like, I can't even be around this person anymore because I feel like I'm just having to give too much. So
I've had that before. Have you?
Gosh,
I've had that before, and I'm like, do you know what, this is too much for me. I need to take a step back from the situation, because all you do is take. And do you know what the thing is, sometimes people don't actually realize that that's what
they're doing. 100%. I feel like sometimes they don't realize how much they're leaning on you and how much they're pulling on you. And I think not taking advantage because certain people are not in certain places in their lives.
Yes.
And I'm going to say this, but hopefully the people around me know I'm not directing it at them. But I think even like when somebody has a child, for example, and they expect you to be able to maybe just drop everything and be there for them, or they don't understand why you're tired just because you don't have children.
Yeah, no,
but you could be filling up your time with other things.
Facts.
And a disclaimer, it's no indirects to any mothers out there or fathers, but it's just that sometimes that can seem, you feel like if you're not doing that, if you're not able to support them, then you feel like you're not being a good friend.
Yeah, there's only so much one person can do, and we all can be tired from different things. Just because you have children doesn't necessarily mean that I can't be tired from work.
Yeah.
I can't be tired from life. I might have other financial commitments with my mum and dad.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
On that note.
On that note, guys. Cheers, first of all.
Oh, I nearly finished mine. Look at you. You've got so much left. Oh, hope you guys enjoyed that episode.
Yeah, and comment. Let us know what you think about rekindling friendships. Let us know if you think we've missed anything. And yeah, we look forward to hearing from you guys as well.
Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe.
Bye.